Hello and welcome back to Sakura Space. Last time we discovered who the bounty for Captain Shika's crew actually is. We also discovered that this redhead out here is not the ship's AI but actually Captain Shika. So we're breaking out of the otherwise for Sakura novels harem trope and instead is over in Yuri trope, which is absolutely fine by me. We also had a little struggle with Akane, the bounty for 1 billion space imperial dollars, and now we have reconvened with our crew. So let's get back into it. So here's what I have determined. Our target. She's a company employee, a mercenary just like us. And it seems that she is aware of who we are and that we have taken up her bounty. Also, she has described herself as a fan of ours. Qa'Rajh seems to be taking it seriously for a change. If she's on this ship, then it's going to be dangerous. Nami nods in agreement. We have to heighten our security measures in our quarters. There could be traps waiting for us in here. Those drones I saw, all of them were equipped with non-lethal weaponry. So does that mean she isn't out to kill us? It doesn't appear that way. If I were to take a guess, this is all just a big game to her. She said she was a fan of our work and that we apparently have a cult following. If I were to take a guess at her motives, the crime, her appearing here and confidently declaring herself out in the open, it's all just a game to her. Just a game? Now that I think about it, none of her crimes resulted in any casualties. So, this is all about feeding her own ego? She thinks she is proving how talented or resourceful she is? When Qa'Rajh starts taking things seriously, she is really sharp. Well, she's a mercenary like us, so her reputation would be everything. And what better way would she be able to prove her own capabilities than by beating us, her own idols? Exactly. She said she was a fan, as I mentioned before. I guess this means that this job is going to come down to a battle of wits. If we fail, then she will make sure to humiliate us in front of the entire company. Our reputation would be forever tarnished. I have heard about workers in the film industry who messed up once and were never able to find a job again. Life as a mercenary is no different from that in this part of the galaxy. If you cannot get a job done, then you might as well look for a new job. So we understand her motives and we know that she is somewhere on this ship. But we can't simply confront her out in the open. Right. Akane is an alias, as we determined earlier. There is no concrete evidence linking her to crimes, so if we confronted her out in the open and beat her senseless, it would seem like we're just attacking a fellow employee for no particular reason. Which means we need evidence first. That is precisely the problem. She says that she drifted aboard aboard a company ship. If we can just find out more information about her, we can determine who she is and find a way to beat her. As it stands, she probably knows where our quarters are, so she can afford to wait and let us come to her. You said that this is about her ego, so perhaps we can bait her like that. If you got her to confess and recorded it, then you would go forward with claiming her bounty. On the other hand, if it became public knowledge that the single highest bounty in the galaxy is on this ship, it would throw everything into chaos. Every single team here would be mobilizing to take it down, and in that chaos she would easily step away, off to cause mayhem somewhere else. So we have to handle this with discretion above all else. If we pull this off, then we're set for life. No one is to breathe a word of this to anyone outside of these quarters, okay? Both of them nod in agreement. Good. That's an order from your captain. Kotori puts her hand on her chin. We have to remember that she is confident enough to reveal herself to us. She would obviously have traps in wait. This is going to be difficult to approach. It would be best to have time to think about our next move. Exactly. For now, I'm going to declare our meeting adjourned. I want everyone to be ready for battle at moment's notice. I will be setting the security systems to red alert. Even if a rat finds its way into our quarters, we will know about it. Acknowledged. Security level on red alert. Good. Make sure to check your rooms before you go to bed. We do not want it to strike when we are most vulnerable. While we should be relatively safe in our quarters, it is better to be safe than sorry. The captain declares this meeting to be adjourned. As the two of them leave the room, the AI begins to speak. I will keep an eye out for any reports or unusual problems arising on board. My guess is she will not be able to remain out of trouble, or she will be applying incredible restraint on her compulsions. I agree. Oh. It's been rather difficult to relax since what happened. I'm here at the pool with Nami. She hasn't left my side since Akane had singled me out. For the longest time, we just sit here together, not saying a single word. Oh! It's not a bad swimsuit. Captain, I want to ask you a question. Ask away. Why is it you chose to walk away from us when you thought you were being followed? At the time I thought it was just those mercenaries from earlier. People around here do take such things personally, you know. Even if it was just them, there is no point in needlessly risking yourself like that. Well, if we had remained in a group, they might not have revealed themselves and simply waited for a better opportunity to strike. So I thought the best course of action was to lure them out myself. Akane did reveal herself too. Next time, please let your crew know if you're planning something like that. She isn't out to kill you, but still. What if she decided to stun you and capture you? That would really put things in disarray for us. I'm sorry, Nami, but I really did feel that it was the best course of action. Well, we have to accept the captain's orders, and you did try to protect us. Exactly. I sat down at the water's edge, just letting the warm water soak my feet. Nami relaxes in much the same way. Kotori did pick an excellent place to put this pool. You can get a perfect view of the cosmos from here. You see, I noted that right straight away. Why is it that space is so fascinating to us? Even in the olden days, mankind looked up at the stars in wonder. The same look of wonder is in Nami's eyes as the twinkling stars shine in front of us. You're still searching for it, aren't you? Yes, an answer. Have you worked out the question yet? No, I have not. Sorry, my throat was a little sore there. Here I am, still chasing a vague feeling of longing after so many years. There's something out there among the stars that I'm looking for. I do not know what that is. There's some desire in me, there's something I cannot comprehend. I ask myself every day, what is it that I'm chasing? What does all of this mean? That's why you became a pilot, isn't it? You want to see what's out there. Exactly. Among the three of us, we all come from radically different walks of life. Nami was a former pilot, one of Earth's best and brightest. I came from a mundane background. No one back on Earth would have imagined that things would turn out this way for me. And not for Nami either. Although my time spent in that career was unforgettable, it did not give me the freedom that I was craving. You could only be in few places at once. I wanted more. I wanted to spread my wings and fly across the cosmos. I wanted to know if I could find what I was looking for out here. She lets out a small laugh. I guess, in the end, what I'm chasing is some enlightenment. Do you think that there could be a profound experience out there, one which would change how you saw everything in life? It's a wide universe, Nami. That experience is out there somewhere, I'm certain of it. But it's a little hard to look if you don't know where it is. Perhaps you don't find it all at once. Perhaps it is something you slowly accumulate over time. Perhaps this enlightening experience is merely the sum of everything you have done. Perhaps it is. Normally Nami isn't so open about her thoughts. Are you afraid, Nami? Huh? Of what? You're worried about me. Well, of course I am. If something happened to our captain, I doubt this company would remain together. So it would be wise to ensure that nothing happens to you. Akane obviously does not desire to harm you in any real sense, but even so, if it had been someone who was actually out to harm you, then what would become of all of us here? Even if I was not here, I think both of you would do fine. You're some of the finest mercenaries in the business, but I understand where you're coming from. Although she's exceptionally intelligent, Nami does need guidance from time to time. People with these eccentric personalities tend to be difficult to work with if you do not understand them. If Akane tries to strike again, I promise that I will not isolate myself on purpose. All of us need to be united if we're going to beat her, I think. Did she actually try to fight you, or were those drones the only weapon she used? Just drones. But judging from the way she moved, she is definitely going to be a dangerous opponent. She slipped into the shadows as easily as a ghost might slip through a wall. Whoever she is, she knows how to use her environment fully to her advantage. Everything about her is strange, to say the least. If you were going to pick out one detail about our bounty which stands out above all else, what do you think it would be? I guess using a whip in a space-time would be rather unusual. But then again, Nami's using a sword, Kotori is using daggers, so I think I'm gonna go with her ego. I would say that her most defining trait is her ego. What makes you say that, Captain? Well, not only did she come all this way just to mess with us, she was also confident enough to reveal herself to me. If she had not done that, then she would have been able to take us down at her own pace. But it is as if she's deliberately giving us a heads up. Above all else, it is her ego that defines her. She will deliberately leave behind clues, slip up and taunt us, because she believes in her superiority over us, even if she's supposedly our fan. Yes, it does make sense. Why would you bother traveling all this way if you didn't think you could emerge the victor? In addition, she is not only challenging just you, but all three of us. Our reputation precedes wherever we go, so if she still thinks she can somehow beat all of us together, then no matter how skilled she is, she must have an incredible ego. That is my thought exactly. With that in mind, we can discern how she may behave in the future. Good thinking, Captain. No matter what way this plays out, we have to remain careful. Even if she looks like she does not wish to hurt us, we cannot trust anything that she says. Well, we got a bit of a typo here. You are be right about that. I would remove the B. You're right about that. I will. So next time something like that happens, please don't do anything reckless. I am only your crew member, so you have the final say in what you do. But please. Nami pulls her feet out of the water and wanders over to a nearby chair. She lays herself out, looking at the stars. I do not know what I would do if we lost you, Captain. So I want to resolve this bounty as soon as possible. I understand how you feel, Nami. I do not think I could stand the feeling of losing either of you. We have all been together for a long time. The idea of us carrying on if one of us were missing, well, it just does not seem plausible. I get out of the water too, walking over to Nami. She suddenly seems to get really awkward. Captain, you're standing fairly close to me. I can't stop myself looking. Oh, here we go. Oh, are you feeling lonely, Nami? Yes. She just lays there awkwardly, unsure of how to express her feelings. There's no need to be shy then. I know how you feel. I know you do. Then why don't we let our passion talk? Whoa, hey, oh, hey. As I walk over, she spreads out before me. I slowly settle on top of her, gazing longingly into her eyes. I can feel... What? I think that should just be her. I can feel heather heat radiating from her body as her breathing becomes heavy. Her luxurious thighs feel like the finest velvet as I slip over them. Shika, what happened to professionalism? We aren't working right now, so we can worry about professionalism another time. Bets are that Kotori is going to drop in on them, particularly because they are in the space that Kotori is normally in. And knowing Sakura novels, the whole idea is triangle. How do you work that to set things out? But everything is usually in a triangle. Alright, I'm glad. Her soft lips slowly press against mine. I can feel her heart beating faster as she lies by my side. We share a long, passionate kiss. Her gentle hands move around my body slowly, her fingertips pressing into my soft skin. Then they slowly trail down my back. The heat, her breath, the feeling of her skin against mine. It all sends shudders and shivers through me. Nami is a rare jewel, someone of incredible strength, beauty and intelligence. Someone like her is 1 in a billion. $1 billion! I'm so lucky to have met her. Her hand slowly slides down my back until it settles on my behind. It begins to squeeze. I can tell that she is relishing how it spills in between her fingers. Her other glides up my back and her arms slowly wrap around my waist, pulling me closer to her. It's exhilarating to feel every bump, every caress, every rub as we lie entangled together. Her bright eyes do not leave mine for a moment. It is as if I can see into her soul. It's bright, it's burning, it's filled with passion. Our lips separate for the smallest moment, just long enough for her to draw a long, deep breath. She gently whispers to my ear, "Please, Captain, don't ever leave me. Don't ever leave us. We need you. Don't ever forget that we need you." How could I possibly forget you, Nami? I'll be here for as long as you need me. She relocks her lips with mine, letting her passion say everything that needs to be said. I won't leave any of you behind. No matter what happens, I will always be here for both of you. That is my promise to this company and to you. Nami, my precious jewel. For the longest time, we simply lie there together, as the stars around us continue their cosmic dance in the void. Oh. That actually surprised me. I was certain that Kotori would barge in and then we would have an awkward moment of explaining how we got into this situation and so on and so forth. But, well, Nami should be in high spirits now. I wonder where Kotori is in the midst of all this. She is probably in her room, knowing her. I wander up to her room and knock. "Kotori? Are you in there?" Deathly silence. "Kotori?" I find that the security on the door isn't active. Walking inside, I find that she is nowhere to be found. "Kotori? Are you hiding around among all these animals?" Are we going to have another Akane encounter already? She probably could be. There's enough of them to bury someone in. Come on, Kotori. You know better than to ignore your captain. Still no response. She must not be in here then. I cannot help but take a moment to look more closely at her stuffed animals. Every single one is from a different planet we have visited. In her own way, Kotori is collecting little memories from across the cosmos. Nami's room is impressive in how pristine it is. Kotori's is interesting in the sheer chaos that manifests itself in here. You can learn a lot about someone just by having a closer look at where they live. My room is rather plain compared to theirs. A series of bunks, nothing particularly personal standing out in it. Even though I'm chasing this insanely huge bounty, I've never lived as though I'm rich. I do not even know what I would do once I get all of that money. Underneath the mound, I pull out a teddy bear. That's right. This bear was from that one planet we stayed on. It's hard to believe that you could find such a beautiful place in the universe. It was advertised as a luxury planet, but I suppose that isn't particularly relevant. Kotori loved that world. She didn't want to leave it at all. Crystal clear lake, several multicolored moons which sailed through the night sky. Every day was like a pleasant summer's day. It's amazing to believe that terramorphing technology is capable of altering a planet to such incredible degree. But, alas, I'm not sticking to the task at hand. I still need to find Kotori. Wait. I do not want to make myself panic, but maybe Kotori has already been attacked by Akane. How plausible would that be? Yeah, it is plausible. You spent the whole time making smoochy coochies with the other crew member and you had no idea where the third member was, so yeah. Akane could have sneaked in here somehow. But if she did, how come there were no alarms triggered or anything? The entire security system is fine-tuned to trigger upon even the slightest suspicious thing happening. It's too unlikely for me to consider it. Am I just jumping to conclusions at this point? Kotori could be having a swim at this hour. She does not have a lot to do at the moment, so she would be trying her best to stay active. It is then that I hear noises coming from the simulation room. Simulation scenario over. Perfect score. Alright! Kotori bounds out of the rooms happily and pumps her fist in the air. I finally did it! She sees me standing there. Oh, Captain! Came to see me, did you? Just checking up on you, Kotori. I thought that you weren't allowed in the simulation room after the last incident. Well, we are currently on high alert, and swimming didn't really help but put me at ease. So I thought a good old-fashioned dungeon crawl would help. Please don't tell me that you burned out the simulation room again. No, it was that one dungeon that we spent heaps of time on. Do you remember that one? The overgrown undergrowth dungeon? Please don't remind me of those days. But I had so much fun in that dungeon. I didn't. How exactly did you get a perfect score in a simulation of that dungeon by yourself? Well, I decided that I have to start taking things more seriously. This Akane character sounds like she's going to be bad news no matter what way you look at it. So I want to be ready. I need to protect everyone with these two daggers. She flashes them in the air. Did you see that? See what? Exactly! Kotori laughs at her own bad joke. Akane will smile too. Playing along with her ridiculous jokes is fun. You really do get me, Captain. That's why it's important that we beat Akane. I like the way things are around here, and we don't need someone like her ruining it for us, don't you think? Exactly. It's good to know that you're still in good health, Kotori. Just try not to burn out the simulation room. I will try not to. Before I can turn to leave, she puts a hand on my shoulder. Can I come with you for a moment, Captain? Permission granted. Kotori seems to be thinking about something. I have been looking into this cult following we apparently have, and it's silly! How did none of us here know about it in the first place? All I do with my digital pad is play online games. Oh, you and Nami wouldn't bother looking up anything like this either. It's more or less true. I tend to avoid any pop culture news like the plague. I only ever look up information on politics. This means I have fans! How exciting is that? Imagine, there's probably an entire galaxy worth of people out there following our adventures. That's cool, don't you think? It is cool, I suppose. But doesn't that warrant some scrutiny? Is it possible that this cult following we have could interfere with our current bounty? Let me think. Well, we already said that discretion and staying stealthy was a key element to this, so I think we should keep a low profile. I don't like it, to be honest. Why is that, Captain? This Akane somehow knows everything there is to know about us. All of this information is just out there ready for her to access at any given moment. While we are still aiming to complete this bounty, we should keep as low profile as we can. She wouldn't even have to monitor us herself if there are tons of people out there just watching our adventures. That is a good point. Then again, if she didn't have access to all of this information, she would not have turned up on our doorstep. Whoa. Oh, I'm accidentally hitting the mouse wheel a slight bit, and it's picking up on that. Oh, she would not have picked it up. So there's a silver lining to all of this. I do not know if it's worth sacrificing the element of surprise. She has the advantage right now, no matter what way you look at it. Either way, I'll make sure that you're safe, Captain. You can trust me to get the job done every time. I am most certain that I can, but I do not wish to be a burden. Perhaps I should practice my skills in the simulation room too. It always pays to practice, Captain. If you don't, then that amazing precision of yours will slowly wear away. And we wouldn't want that. After all, you are so delicate with your fingers. They always touch all the right... Professionalism, Kotori. Let's not get professionalism. Fine. But you'll give in one day. That professionalism of yours cannot keep me away forever. So carefree, this girl. You've literally just thrown professionalism out of the window, smooching with the other crew member less than 5 minutes before this. Oh my god. If I could only live my life as she does. Above all else, I would protect everything here. Even if it meant laying down my own life, I would protect the pride of our company. That's my sworn duty. There's no need to be so dramatic. Akane isn't out to kill us. Even so, I do not want to lose to the likes of her. And I won't. None of us will. Oh, there's her daggers. Oh. Where is she keeping those? She pulls out her daggers and shows them to me. See these 2 blades, Captain? I've repaired them, looked after them, and used them ever since we've all been together. I wield these blades for you, Captain. There is no one else in the entire universe I would wield them for. She flashes them through the air, streaks of golden light illuminating the air around her. While I have these, there's nothing I won't be able to beat. I'm sure of it. When Kotori gets fired up, you can't help but feel energized too. So don't you worry about a thing, Captain. You can believe in me. Akane won't know what's about to hit her. She happily twirls her blades around in her hands. As sure as the sun rises from the horizon on Earth, I will capture her and earn us $1 billion imperial dollars. I do have faith in you, Kotori. I do. No matter what happens here, from here, I'm glad Kotori will be by my side for the whole thing. Despite her personality quirks, she is one of the most reliable people I've ever met. When she says that she's going to do something, she does it. And she does it to the best of her ability. Seeing her standing there in front of the glass window, the cosmos her backdrop, it creates an almost surreal image in my head. She does look rather stunning in that bodysuit as well. I cannot help but let my imagination start running off by itself. Captain! Hello! You're spacing off! Pardon me. As I was saying, there's no way that whip of all things could be these daggers. Hold on a minute! Hold on a minute! That whip's got a reach. Unless you're throwing them daggers and they don't look exactly balanced for throwing, you're gonna have a problem with reach. If you can get close, that's good for you. But if not, Alright. All it would take is a single cut and she would be unharmed. Wouldn't that be unarmed? At the same time, you shouldn't underestimate her. If she somehow managed to snare your arms with a whip. Don't worry about that. I am prepared, Captain. That's why I was training. AI, what was my score again? Kotori achieved a perfect score in the simulation. She is more than ready for combat than ever. See? Now just don't worry. Remember that overconfidence can very easily be your downfall. Our opponent isn't going to be easy to defeat like a simulation. Long after that, we continue to talk. Kotori eventually heads back to her room, leaving me to go elsewhere. So, no one is questioning why the security on Kotori's room was not on, even though it was specifically said that it should be on at all times when they weren't there. Now that I've had a moment to relax, I can focus on the task at hand. It is important to take breaks and remain at peak performance. If you leave a machine on for too long, it eventually burns itself out. People aren't so different. It's been silent despite us being on high alert. As we discussed, she must be taking her time. We don't know where she is hiding, so she can wait until we're vulnerable. I see someone walking down the hallway. Captain? Nami? After what only happened about an hour ago, both of us have gone back to being professional. See? I mean, I understand that she's a bit like more motherly towards the shy and introverted character of the crew, but still, you were literally just talking about professionalism regarding one character when you were pretty close to getting it on with another character less than 5 minutes before. But I think that was just what Nami needed to focus too. Have you seen anything unusual? Not at all. It has been very quiet around here. She looks around her. It's been too quiet, you know. I do not think I've even heard a mouse moving around on board. There shouldn't be mice on board a spaceship. It doesn't feel right, I agree. It puts me off, you know. What does exactly? The idea that she could be watching us this entire time. Well, it's possible that she's watching us at least. But I understand you. Nami is one who takes her privacy quite seriously. Now that I think about it, the fact that we have a cult following is also strange. I suppose it is, but you know how it works. We're living in a massive galaxy with a lot of bored people in it, so the idea of people following our shenanigans isn't that far-fetched. We do lead an unusual life, after all. I don't like it either way. I know. But we can't do anything about it right now. We don't know when Akane is going to strike. She must be confident that she can trade blows with us if she revealed herself. That is exactly what I thought at the time. Also, all those drones she sent you, how do you suppose she got those on such short notice? They were a newer model too, one which has only recently been imported onto the ship for sale. Ooh. Nami asking the important questions here. She seems to be traveling rather light because she needs to travel fast. So this one doesn't seem to fit all that well, because where would she be keeping all of them? Yeah, I think she stole them. She's a criminal. She wouldn't exactly be above stealing them. You said yourself that there was only a recently shipment for this new model. We do not know how long she's been on the ship, so perhaps she stole them before this. No, I do not think so. Suppose that you did manage to pull that off and keep a low profile. Such a large theft of military-grade hardware wouldn't have gone unnoticed here. News travels quickly, and we would have heard about it. She does have a point in that. Right, pardon me. It's not a problem, Captain. A drop of water falls from the ceiling, interrupting our train of thoughts. Damn, there must be a hole in the pipe system somewhere. I guess we'll have to get someone to... As I trail off as I look more closely at the water drop. It doesn't look like water at all, but some vividly colored blue gel. It's sticky and has a strange consistency. What on earth could it be? To my surprise, the drop on my finger begins to move ever so slightly. At first, I think my eyes are playing tricks on me, but no matter how many times I blink, it's still moving. Captain, is something wrong? Nami? Do not move. I think there's something in the pipes. What do you mean by something? Just hold still. I move my hand slowly, ever so slowly towards the small puddle of blue gel that has accumulated on the floor. Then I tap it with my finger. It starts to move. My reflexes kick in and I quickly pull my hand away. A flood of blue gel erupts from the opening above me. Captain, get out of the way! Ow. Nami shoves me just in time for the blue gel to ensnare her. Writhing and entrapping, the blue gel quickly envelops her chest and legs. It quivers and vibrates as sticky tendrils begin to prevent Nami from moving. More and more ooze drips from the ceiling, piling on top of her. It settles on her chest, squeezing and touching her. What is this thing doing? The gel appears to be massaging her. Get it off me! The ooze seems to be coating her all over. Once it thoroughly envelops her body, it begins to vibrate slowly. Small quivers and movements are visible through the gel's surface. Nami tries to scrape it off of herself, but it's useless. Every time she pushes it away, it just makes its way back. 2 strands of gel binds her arms to the ground, preventing her from resisting. It's touching me all over. I move towards her with my hand out, hoping that I can succeed where she failed. No, don't touch it, you'll just be dragged in too. A small gasp escapes her lips as the slime clamps down hard around her chest. I cannot help but notice how it's creeping in between her thighs too. The entirety of its mass is caressing, touching and massaging her all over. Soon her face turned bright red and I can hear her breathing become heavy. What is this thing? Why is it doing this? Just hold still, I have an idea. Okay. This is so embarrassing, so hurry up. I pull my pistol from my belt. Pistol configuration EMP. All living things have some form of electrical current moving through their body. There are 2 possibilities with this gel. It's either a living thing or it's some sort of nanotechnology. Either way, the EMP should at least get it to let go. It probably won't deliver enough of a punch to destroy it. Close your eyes, Nami. She's panting heavily due to the gel's movements, but she complies. I squeeze down the trigger and the EMP wave erupts from its barrel. The gel stops moving for a second. Did it work? Don't move. I keep an eye on the gel. It begins to condense itself on top of Nami's chest. Then it erupts, showering the entire hall with its goo. Sticky globs of gel slide lifelessly off the walls of the hallway. Are you alright, Nami? I'm fine. She gets back up on her feet slowly. She wipes the goo off of her suit. I remember where I've seen this goo gel before. It's a brand of massage gel from another galaxy. Massage gel? I have not heard of such a thing before. I am not surprised that you haven't. It's a very popular item for relieving stress, especially some variants of it. This is obviously an attack by Akane. She must have trapped some of this gel in the piping above us. A completely non-lethal, yet completely humiliating attack. Damn her. Nami, don't get angry. Akane is attempting to throw us off. Even if our reputation takes a blow, it doesn't matter if we pull this job off. It's apparent that I have not been taking her seriously enough. For now, let's get something to repair this leak. Nami's eyes wander over to a nearby ventilation shaft. Do you think she might have used the vents to get in here? Possibly. It's company policy not to obscure or place any objects in the vent system, so we couldn't place any security countermeasures there. We'll have to talk about this somewhere else. That probably isn't the only camera that's watching us. Agreed. And that's where we'll end this episode. So we got a little bit of action and we got a little bit of action. Not bad. But still no sign of Akane. I wonder when she would strike next. But that's all for next episode, so until then, take care.